seeing the broken road signs named after the evil corporation By and Large, and when the autosave came up and told me that it was sponsored by By and Large, I giggled a bit. You even get to play as Eve in her own unique sections sometimes. You've got on-rails tunnel flying while you blow things up with lasers, and open-world flying scavenger hunts. And much like with Willy, these bits control great as well. Just look at how responsive the controls are, even on a slippy surface. Wherever you point the stick, you turn. No delay, no slow turning, the weight feels right, I can do donuts, and it's these controls alone that make the whole game pretty damn good to play. My favourite bit though was here on the loading screen, where it was moving along quite nicely, and then froze for a second, so then when it came back to life it had to quickly catch up with itself like whoop!
Good day, sir. I'm Michael Factory, and I'm here to sell you a door.
I have a door. You knocked on it.
Oh, yeah. Have a DS game instead. Oh! Ratatouille!
Yes, everyone, the game based on the movie, plus the dump truckload of ports, wasn't enough for the sweet little rodent. He also felt like he needed an exclusive side game from the Nintendo DS. Oh no, is the whole game gonna look like this? Yes it is. This is just horrendous. This looks like shovelware, not a Disney Pixar branded game. This is worse than a Ratatouille toddler's coloring book. And all of the characters' noses look like sacks. In fact, I was so distracted by the ugliness of this thing that I actually have no idea what's going on. I clicked on a new game file, I get given a loading screen, and then there's a mini game. No backstory, no instructions, what am I doing? Am I sticking the same ingredients together to make a good soup? But Remy is giving me the ingredients himself. Why can't he just wait for all the same ingredients to come up and then give them to me all at once? Who cares? I figured it out at least, and I think I'm doing pretty well. Okay, so after restarting the entire game to see if I missed something, it turns out that this itsy-bitsy teeny-weeny, not obviously at all-y question marky was the only way to figure out the basics of each minigame you'll be doing here, so thanks for making it skippable. Couldn't you just put the instructions up here? It turns out that after you make a lump of dump, you just tap the screen to grab it with your fork, so that's good. On to the next minigame immediately. What? No bridge? No story? No main game? No. This is a mini-game set that is only a mini-game set. We're now slicing things with the stylus and... that's it. And then we're cooking things without moving any of the cookware. I'm sorry, what is this game? Why is it a game? What's the point of anything that I'm doing here? For 2 screens and touchscreen capability, this is one of the most restrictive and shallow games I've ever played. There's nothing here. You just jump from minigame to minigame with no scoring system, no linking segments, no rewards. You just touch things a few times while staring at this thing that looks like Thomas the Rat Engine. I mean, cooking games on DS go together like bread and butter, right? It's touchscreen. It couldn't possibly be that difficult to make an engaging game, could it? Cooking Mama did this pretty well. Hell, there's even more complexity, variety, and content on the Mario 64 DS minigames, and they weren't even the standalone game. Peppa Pig on the DS offers you more than this. Peppa freaking Pig! So all I've got to say to you, game, is rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat.
Hey, are you feeling brave? Well, that's good, because I have a rifle!
So by playing this game, I must ask, am I brave or stupid? Well, I can tell you one thing at least. I've seen this bloody lamp bouncing on this bloody letter so many times now that I want it to fall through the floor. Brave is a linear platforming beat-em-up game that... Merida! Whoa! What happened to you? When did that dead cat get on your head? And despite how middle of the road it is, I think this is the best Pixar game I've played for this video so far. It's got elements of a twin-stick shooter for your fast-draw bow and arrow mixed in with basic combos and upgradable moves. And you can even unlock new moves to use like dodge rolling and different aerial attacks. Combine that with a few puzzles here and there, and different elements for your weapons to switch between to take advantage of enemy weaknesses and level obstacles, and I genuinely am not fooling around when I say this is a really damn good kids game, and I think you should... Ooh, this game has Kinect on it! Excuse me. What is going on with this bollocks? Kinect, help me please and answer me one question. Why don't you work? Brave on the Xbox 360 allows you to head to an archery range with the Kinect, and precision aiming a bow and arrow with dated and terrible body sensor motion controls goes just as well as you'd expect it to. If it doesn't register your aiming hand and where it's pointing, it doesn't register your drawing hand, and if you somehow manage to get that all working, letting go of the arrow is another thing entirely. What am I doing wrong here? Hit the thing, Brave! Hit the thing! thing! You get 3 games to pick from here. Who cares? Piss off and leave me alone to cry. It doesn't matter because they're all the damn same anyway. At least when I'm even able to aim at the damn menu commands and make them go. When something even as simple as menu navigation doesn't work and screws you up, you know the rest of the game isn't gonna work out for you. Brave as a kid's game itself is pretty damn good, but the Kinect add-on is the tambourine player of the school band. It's irritating, nobody wants it, nobody likes it, and even if you get it working, you end up wanting to kick it in the face. Now, I've also heard through the grapevine that there's actually a Toy Story Kinect game somewhere out there, but I don't have that, so I suppose I'll save it for another video. Won't I, Kinect? You scamp! Anyway, while we're on the subject of Toy Story, here is Buzz Lightyear Star Command on the PS1. Merida looks like cup noodle. Before we get into the game, can I just say one thing? I never watched this show, but the movie Buzz Lightyear A Star Command, as far as a cheap spin-off goes, I really like. It's pretty funny, actually.
Target the planet of widows and orphans!
You fiend! There he is!
I knew that would get him.
And appropriately, the video game tie-in is also making me laugh, but not in the right way. We pick our first mission and get treated to a phone call, which I honestly zoned out from because this dude just kept saying the same words over and over again.
Getaway spot. Getaway spot. Getaway spot. Getaway spot. Getaway spot.
I think I'm going to the getaway spot. Oh look, it's a scene from the show. That's pretty cool at least.
Right here could handle this one in hypersleep.
So Star Command on the PS1 is a corridor running and gunning game, and when I say that, I mean that's all you do. You run, jump, and gun with floaty as heck controls and one of the worst camera systems I've ever seen that can't be controlled. But there are a few other things you can do. You can collect hidden little green men for extra bonuses, you can pick up and collect credits to buy new upgrades and weapons throughout the level, and you can strafe left and right. But what is this? It's good to know that I'm now playing the video game adaptation of Disney on Ice. You've also got to fight bosses and arrest them. But I don't think there's much point arresting a dead body on fire. That's not all though, because what is this? Why, it's a time limit, because this is also a racing game too. Yes, in order to get to the boss of each level, you need to reach its
Getaway spot
before the time runs out, or beat them to the hideout to knock off a portion of their health with this thing that looks like a blue toilet brush. And this is great whenever you find a shortcut portal or jet board, but terrible for looking around for collectibles and grabbing them. Not just the aliens, but the credits too, which you need to grab to buy the weapons you need to even damage the boss in the first place when you get there. And after all of this, the bosses usually amount to... Absolutely brilliant. These two styles of gameplay are at odds with each other constantly in Star Command. You need to find the hidden things and collect enough credits to get extra medals in order to progress, but you also need to do that while not running out of time, meaning potentially rushing by basically everything, and you haven't really got a chance to let the game itself or its level design sink in, so if you have to retry it, you don't really remember where the best places to go are, where the best weapons are, where the collectibles are. It's just really messy. It's not awful, but I wouldn't exactly describe it as fun, and it's not that difficult, more just irritating. Not helped at all by the total lack of camera control and no weapon lock-on. What? Even when the levels do get a little bit more interesting, like on Planet Flambe, it doesn't give you breathing room to search around it or discover more interesting platforming or secrets, because otherwise you're game over from being too far behind. Check out level 3 here, where I'm supposed to hit all of these bombs or else they'll detonate and destroy the whole level, but I'm given a jet board really early on because of how fast this joker is, so I ended up missing one of the bombs in the level as I was heading for a shortcut which I thought I was supposed to do, but nah, because I missed that bomb which was on the corner of the screen, game over. All because Star Command can't make up its mind on what kind of game it wants to be. And when I finally did perform everything correct on this level, I accidentally activated a power-up for Booster, who looks like a giant beat, to come down and smash everything, causing the bad guy to get ahead of me, which means that the level itself never pauses, which means if my countdown clock was running, I might have lost the level right there, completely out of my control. Why does Buzz have a gun anyway? He uses a laser in the movie, and he has one on his arm. Where is it here? And why does he sound like Joe Swanson?
Stop right there, creepazoid.
So why don't we end this marathon off with a quick look at Toy Story 3 on the 360, which, by all accounts, is one of the best Pixar games ever made.
What?
Yes, Woody, I know. I couldn't believe it either. It opens up with this fantastic intro stage, playing like a mix of Crash Bandicoot-styled animal riding, Uncharted-style platforming, and Red Dead Redemption 2 train hijacking as we brutally murder a load of aliens by throwing them onto the metal tracks at 90 miles an hour. We also put a load of cows onto a catapult because they're old and I can't milk them anymore. By the way, guys, I also thought Woody was supposed to be all floppy, so whenever he runs into a wooden door, why does it sound like... After this segment, you're thrown into the hub world of sorts, and this isn't any old hub world where you just pick levels. It's a massive level in and of itself, set in an old western town that you are the sheriff of, with a million pieces of clothing to collect for your village.